Good afternoon and welcome to your Tuesday Tonic, the political update. The pre-election anxiety was a national burden, and many pray all that will be over probably by Sunday, 7th of November 2021, when the winner would have been announced. But the anxiety, suspense, worries, calculations, permutations, and the date of delivery extended in the labor room as it were, as INEC declares the election inconclusive. This is the paradox of the Anambra November 6th governorship election. Many expressed fears for the security situation. That accusation was wrong. Beavers was rather the culprit. The election was extended to today, November 9th, for the people of Iala to also have a feel of the ballot. So the game is still on, and the political update crew today goes for fishing in the Anambra River, or better still, in Anambra State, the light of the nation. How the process went on Saturday, the figures on a comparative perspective, also on the menu for today's episode. We will also make a brief stopover in Imo State to check what is going on in the State Assembly. Who is in charge of the maize? Is Paul Emeziam still in charge? Or please sit back as we take you through the political terrain, especially in the Southeast. My name is Mie Ogidi. Report just reaching us says Senate has passed the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which was committed to the National Assembly Conference Committee. This followed the approval of the report of the committee, which was resolved that resolved mode of voting and transmission of result shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the Electoral Commission, and also approved direct primaries for political parties.
It's imperative, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, for me to point out that the successful harmonization of this bill is a process that started from the 7th Assembly through the 8th National Assembly and has now been completed by this distinguished 9th National Assembly. This bill is now ready for passage and presidential assent. I'm happy to say that most of what we call citizens' top priorities on the Electoral Act Amendment, including the use of technology, has been addressed by this Electoral Act 2021.
Those in favor that the Senate do approve the Conference Committee report on the Electoral Act number 6, 2010, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate has also confirmed the nomination of Abdulaziz Idris King and Mohamed Sani Baba as commissioners representing Kogi and Bauchi states in the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. The Speaker, Imo State House of Assembly, Paul Emeziam, has been impeached.
This impeachment of Speaker Paul Emeziam marks the second in 7 days by members of the Imo State House of Assembly. Only a few days ago, the Deputy Speaker Marachi China Iwanyan was impeached, though without a replacement. The impeachment of Speaker Emeziam heightened with the reinstatement of the impeached Deputy Speaker, which was presided over by member for Njaba State Constituency Uju Onwudiwe as Speaker pro tempore. The record Deputy Speaker thereafter presided over the impeachment of the Speaker amidst tight security, sponsored by Chigozie Nwaneri, representing Oru East State Constituency.
Right Honorable Paul Emeziam is no longer the Speaker. We don't accept him to lead us anymore as the Speaker of the 9th Assembly.
While members of the press were not allowed access to the full impeachment procedure, as they were excused from the chamber soon after the call for impeachment, the newly elected Speaker Kennedy Ibe, who represents Obo State Constituency, was presented by the House for briefing.
In the discharge of this function, we shall put utmost the interests of the states. We shall not allow ourselves by any means whatsoever and for any consideration other than that for the development of the state to derail our course. We have learned our lessons as an assembly, and we are saying clearly now that Imo State House of Assembly is on course to move forward.
Although the impeached speaker was seen outside the gates of the House of Assembly complex trying to force his way in, he was, however, not allowed access.
gale of impeachments there from Plateau State, now in Imo State. So let's go into the issue of at the moment, and that is the Anambra governorship elections. Let's take some analysis, local government by local government. We have above 2.5 million voters, and this is how the votes are located to each of the local governments. Aguata above 144,000, and Ayemelom 87,000 above. Anambra East, it's 98,000 and above. Anambra West, 62,000 and above. Anaucha, 109,000 and above. Oka North, 72,000. Oka South, 188,000. Dunukofia, 74,000. Kwasigo, 85,000. Indemile North, 222,000. Indemile South, 113,000. Iyala, the controversial Iyala, is 148,000. In Zikoka is 103,000. In Newi North, 154,000. In Newi South, 92,000. Ogbaru is 174,000. Onisha North, 159,000 and above. Onisha South, 161,000. Orumba North, 93. Orumba South, 75. And Oyi, 102,663. Total number of votes, as earlier told you, is 2,525,471. And the results announced from the 20 local governments, Abuja is leading with 103,946 votes. PDP 51,322, and the difference between the Abuja and PDP is 52,624. And the Iyala, where the election was not conducted earlier on, though the supplementary election is going on, has total of 148,407 registered voters. And probably this prompted the supplementary election. The figure of Iyala local government is more than the difference between the two candidates. So INEC was left with no option than to conduct supplementary election, because if they announce the results the way it is, PDP may likely go to court claiming that they supposed to win the 148,000. So INEC did the right thing, and if, for instance, PDP get all the 148,000 votes, they don't even have the constitutional requirement, which you're supposed to score at least 25% minimum in each of the local governments, so they may not have that spread. But let's see how things play out after the results probably will be announced later today from the Iyala local government area. That is a brief analysis of total number of registered voters and the ongoing election, in the supplementary election. So our men are on the field in the Iyala local government area monitoring situation. If we can get a clip of how the process started this morning, that we're going to add more flesh to the program.
All right, this is Umuname Primary School. We are voting an accreditation behind just few minutes ago. You can see some of the electorate. They are here exercising their franchise. It has been peaceful. And there has been no any atom of trouble here, contrary to expectations of what people have expected here, that maybe there will be troubles in this area. But it has been very peaceful, and the electorate turned out in their numbers to exercise their franchise.
Okay, let's. How is the turnout like? We can see at least large number of people at your back. How is the turnout like, and the security situation? Security
yes,
on ground?
in this polling unit, the turnout is very, very impressive. I can tell you, the turnout is impressive in this polling unit, except in some other areas where we went to, we saw only a few. But in this polling unit, the turnout is very impressive.
Okay, how was did they start early? Because supposed to start from 10 to 4. When did they start the voting there?
okay, with the directive by INEC that voting will start by 10, but in most of the polling units, they did not start until around 1:20. I can tell you it's just about 30 minutes that these polling units began voting.
Thank you very much. We'll get back to you in the course of the program. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm back to the studio.
That is our correspondent in NTA, Oka, who is currently in Iyala local government area, giving us an update on the voting in the only local government that is left out of the 21. And we have an observer of the Anambra governorship election. He is the Director General of the Flag Foundation, Dr. Chris Agure. Yeah, welcome to Political Update Studio.
Thank you very much.
I see you making some calls, probably trying to get some figures and situation report from your men there, from the Flag Foundation.
Yes.
And our reporter just told us that materials arrive at that particular polling unit, not early as announced 10 o'clock, but at least slightly above 10. What are the reports you are getting from your men there?
Yeah, so far, but let me correct this impression. You said Dr. Chris Agere. Well, a lot of my friends, some call me prof, some call me a doc. I am Chris Agere, simply a citizen and a philosopher by training and orientation. I observed the Anambra election last Saturday, and I've been following up since I came back yesterday because I have men on ground. And I observed that the election on the platform of grassroots development and peace initiative. From the report I'm getting a few minutes back, two things playing out: determination and will of the people to exercise their civic duty. There is that zeal and zest, irrespective of the challenges of security, much talked security threats and all the rest of them. Another thing is INEC and determination to run the process, conclusively. That has been established. The security agencies' support to ensure that everything works out normally, that is also established. And so it is a good development. Every election is a mixed grill of, the good, the bad, and ugly. But so far, what we've been experiencing is the good in respect of today's supplementary election. Yes, logistics problems played out. I've been monitoring people who are committed, to seeing how the process goes. Well, one person told me that a voter discovered that, and the coordinator of a party, it's not even the winning party, that same transporters that were experienced did not turn up in time. Probably they wanted to assess the situation on ground and eventually came. The security situation, security men are visible. Some say fierce looking. But the bottom line is this, that so far, election voting has started and progressed. Some started earlier, some started late, but people turned out and it's progressing as we're talking now. And we can only pray and expect that it runs its full cycle logically, peacefully, the way it has been so far, even today.
From the reports we have seen so far, and even the election on Saturday, out of the more than 2.5 million voters, the voters turnout may likely not even go above, let's say, 500, between 400 and 500, and that is below 20%.
Yes.
Yes, we blame the biomodal voter accreditation system.
Yes.
Many persons were disfranchised and all that. Don't you think even the voters in Anambra State have a place to be blamed?
The point is this. Let's get it straight. First, the peace that have surrounded this election is not state managed. It is not necessarily enforced. It's the will of the people. Fear is man's greatest enemy. A lot of, because of the events predating the election, there were genuine fears, and they don't blame them. But irrespective of those fears, I see people that they don't even have an idea from the psyche. they appear it's as if nothing has happened. They freely came out, just as they've done. Well, it's a electoral process.
Yeah.
So long as the process is free, fair, and peaceful. Out of 2.4 million plus in Anambra, if it is 500 people that came out and exercised their franchise peacefully, freely, fairly, and in accordance with the Electoral Act and the Constitution, and the election is concluded, and the winner emerges, that is the starting point. I'm always, in my usual interactive nature, I say, look, it is better for you to go and vote. If the person you voted for wins the election, you have a right, a moral right, a constitutional right, to hold that person. I say, look, I voted for you. You are not delivering. If you did not vote for any government, anybody and the person emerges as a winner, to some extent, you lack the moral standing. Do you understand me? To even interrogate and query instead of, criticizing. No. So it is part of the development of a political process. These are societies that are politically immature. So these things are expected.
Okay,
this election is peculiar.
The reports you are getting from a men on the field, what is the behavior of the beavers today?
So far, in all honesty, all the reports I've gotten, there have been no problem of failure of the technology. None. Though, as we're talking now, they are at the height of voting. And of course, with tech and sun and pressure, as more people come, but so far, there has been no such report. For me, I stand to be corrected, and I'm not speaking to please anybody. That's the truth. God forbid that I should be, lying here. No. It has so far not fared. Well, Ihala is big. The geographical locations, topographies, network issues, and so on and so forth. The way it
they have
may
about
play out.
Close to 149,000 voters.
Yes, about 148,000 plus.
Yeah.
And about 300 something polling units.
Yeah. 223 polling units.
Yes. And Ihala is also a politically conscious state. I remember.
Local government.
Yes, I remember 4 years ago, Ihala local government gave Obiano the largest single block vote from amongst the 21 local governments. So you can see that the people are politically a bit sensitized. From what you see on ground, irrespective of the threats, that they are there today. They were there on Saturday, they didn't go to work. They spent the whole day there waiting. Today, the same thing, even as a working day. And these are signals. These are positive and good signals from where we should, as a people, begin to consolidate. If we can get it right in Anambra, it all means that, look, let that use as a starting point. Let that use as a starting point. Let this election run to its logical conclusion peacefully and fairly, the way it has been, and it becomes a reference point. Thank God for the new electoral act that I've just been passed into law today. I craved indulgence, and I challenged the president that posterity will also hold him accountable, if he fails to. But I do not think that what happened in 2019 or 2018 will repeat itself. I encourage President Buhari for posterity's sake to sign it into law. Let us try that aspect again. I mean, it's a process. It's a work in progress.
Okay, now the major issue in that electoral act is the e-transmission of results and probably going forward voting as well.
Yes.
But with the experiences we are having now, though we are still progressing.
Yes.
We have Ekiti and Osun to practicalize next year as well.
Yes.
What advice will you give to INEC?
The issue is this. Thank God that the electronic system, the ICT, this is the ICT world. The technology have taken over the humanity. We are talking about artificial intelligence. You talk about the BVN, the phone number, these are the ICT now. It's a look. With that, INEC, I crave the indulgence of all and sundry to give INEC all the support. INEC, what is it that is your problem going forward with this act? We will mobilize Nigerians across board to stand by INEC. Let me also say the INEC job is not an easy one because of the daring nature of our the political elite. Of course, look at, whoever that wins the election appears to win it all. They offer them, give them offers that are tempting. So there will have to be a moral rearmament of the core annex staff to see like this is a national service. If you get it, posterity will judge you rightly or wrongly. Then, with the support of the citizens, annex should be properly funded. Upgrade the technology. With particular reference to what happened last Saturday, I bet you, from my experience, it was nothing like rigging. I don't know how the rigging came about, because I witnessed. That's the first time. That's 4 years ago, and they tried what they called an experimental e-transmission in Anambra. The same place in Amobia, Ward 1. I saw it 4 years ago. I saw it on Saturday. This Saturday, so last Saturday was an improved version of it. Votes are everything after the voting. People are there. They are not in the hurry to go home. They were never in the hurry.
And this Anambra election, people also, some parties are already complaining that there was massive vote buying. You were with me in Anambra on Saturday.
Yes.
And we visited some polling. Yes. Personally, I didn't see any.
Okay.
But you went to other areas as well.
Yes.
Was there anything different?
In your own case, you can disguise easily. Me, because I'm an observer, I'm already identified.
Yeah.
I did not see. I did not get any report from my own men. And from my inquiry at the point in Amobia, I was with the European Union team. Oh, we met in two places. Aroma Junction, where we cater some issues and all that. They even commended me for daring, applying initiative to ensure that everything goes on without any form of misunderstanding and fracas. Results were transmitted after it was counted, announced, the feed, the result sheet manually, parties, agents giving their copies, including security agents. He aggregates it, and before he uploads, see the sum total, before he uploads, he also captures the result sheet.
And upload it to the portal.
Yes, to the portal. Yes. Once he uploads it, he now uploads to the
INEC election results.
Yes. So from that moment, now move to work collection centers. The work collection centers, I was in one, which is a work collection center. Amobia, Numwezi. So and those are thickly populated areas. I was calling him in one of the annex supervisors there, including the transmission officer, whom we try to sort issues of the device, failing sometimes. Right there and then, everything is also, the same process is now, goes through again.
And we pray even today, here last local government elections, we have the same experience.
It will. There's no option.
And we don't have much time anymore.
Oh, yes. Oh.
And probably we'll invite you again, because you have much to tell us. But I think at the end of the election, probably a few hours from now, maybe from 7, 8, the results, the collation will continue again, and the final result. But by God's grace, tomorrow.
Let me commend INEC, commend an Nigerians, commend all stakeholders, including the media. Please, let us wish that we get Anambra right. It becomes a starting point for us as a nation, as a people.
I think a standard has been set already.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chris Aguirre said I should not have the doctor or the prof.
I'm not.
You want to just be a simple citizen.
Oh, yes.
That is kind of you, and
Thank you
very thoughtful
much.
as well.
Thank you.
That is much we can take on today's edition on political updates. Our crew is still in a Iyala local government area, giving us blow-by-blow account of what is going on. All things being equal, by tomorrow, Anambrans will get their governor-elect. And also remember, we are counting down to the no COVID vaccination, no work movement. That is 1st of December 2021, less than 3 weeks from now. So go and take your vaccination, get your paper ready as a passport to your office. Thank you. See you again on Friday.